A few weeks ago, I texted a good friend of mine and I said, do you think if I dropped you in a random unit in Idaho, you could find a bear within 24 hours? He said, of course he could.
Not only did I find one bear in 24 hours, I found 5 bears in 24 hours.
My friend Tate Bradfield can find a bear in the Idaho wilderness in 24 hours in a unit that he's never hunted before.
The funny thing about this is I then packed his black bear out and gutted it and skinned it for him.
If you are a Backfire Plus subscriber, I will let you know that we're dropping a course that I want you to look out for because it's called 24-Hour Bear. And it's just recording all of his tips over the shoulder of everything he did to find the bears.
One of the hardest things about hunting bear is access. A lot of YouTube videos show that you have to raft in somewhere in order to kill a bear. That's not necessarily true. What you do have to do is find somewhere that you can hunt that's going to be away from most people. Bears don't like people just like elk don't like people. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cover ground. Whether you do that on foot, truck, or side by side, you've got to be willing to cover some ground. But then you have to be willing to settle in somewhere and wait. Because if you cover too much ground, you're going to miss things.
I'm over here. Okay, so we drove around. We saw a lot of territory. And most of it was pretty thick. And we were just kind of driving to find little windows. We really couldn't see that much because it was so thick. Then when we got to this area, you started getting excited.
I did.
So what specifically do you see about these mountains that makes you say bears?
So this point right over here, we can walk out on that point and you have almost 360-degree views of all around you. The other thing is how clear it is. There's a lot of clearings between the big pine trees. Down in these valleys, you have a lot of visibility. There's a lot of green up, a lot of grass, lots of grass.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I noticed big time. This grass is lush and tall. In other areas, like there were, little bits of grass everywhere, but it wasn't this lush, tall grass like this.
Exactly.
So we see these thick pockets of trees that the bears can go into and hide, but then they'll come out and feed into this grass so you can actually see them. So on the far side of this mountain, what we can't see right now is it's just thick forest. You can't hardly see anything over there. But then this hillside is wide open grass.
And if you look over here, there's pine trees across that hill. There's a lot of green up, but there's also a lot of clearings in the middle of the pine trees. So what you're going to be looking for is in those little shoots of green up between the pine trees. That's where you're going to most likely see the bears.
Let's drop in over this hill and see if you can bail 24-hour bear in front of thousands of people. Well, as I'm editing this, I had to eat those words. So we got there that first night, we started the challenge that first morning, and about 2 hours after recording this clip, maybe we're 3.5 hours into the challenge overall, he found the first bear. It was really impressive, so I asked him lots of questions about how exactly he did that. The thing that was the surprise to me though, as we're looking for those bears, is after we'd glassed up that first one, I realized how slow they're generally moving. It's like a sloth as they walk. They just walk stealthy, slow, And so I had been, I think, scanning a little bit too quick looking for that movement. And I think instead I needed to stay on a stump and just give it 15 seconds. Because if that bear is turned away from you and you don't have that broadside to see the shape of the bear, it's just a black spot, and you can't really see anything else.
And even if they're brown or blonde, like there's a lot of brown or blonde spots on the mountain as well. You just got to basically look for what the color of a bear or maybe the shape of a bear and then watch it till it moves.
I think I might have skipped over quite a few stumps early after I saw how slow they're moving, that you got to pick up a black spot, stay on it for 10 seconds, no movement, move to the next black spot. Oh, hi there. I want to show you a cool piece of gear that I've been using on this hunt. It's this AKEC backpack. So I've showed you before their 3,200 cubic inch version. This is their brand new, much larger Climax bag. Put one hand on your gun, one hand on your ripcord, bonsai! And you immediately have access to your gun. That can definitely save you in a lot of different hunting situations. But there are a couple other things that I like about the pack. First, it has a rain cover, and it has been absolutely pouring on this hunt. I've seen other backpack companies say, oh, you don't need a rain cover, the fabrics are waterproof enough. You need a rain cover. And so I'm really glad that that is included. Plus, it has this separate day pack that you can take off. So you take the whole thing to base camp, and then you have a smaller pack that you can take around to just hunt for a few hours. Works really well. It's a lightweight bag, but it's a full featured bag. I found a lot of the super light bags just don't have enough pockets and stuff to keep you organized, so I really like that. You can check out the AKEK backpacks at akek.com. That's akek.com. No! We've been waiting for hours on this bear we're calling Jordan. It's starting to work its way up, and now it's hailing on us. It's 770 yards. We just don't have the right guns to make a shot like that, and we're not going to make a bad shot. So this mountain is magic. There are bears everywhere in here, but we're not going to make a bad shot. We're going to be patient. Hope it doesn't bite us in the butt. It's 5 o'clock, and ow, it is hailing out here. We still have a couple hours of light, but looks like that storm could be getting better, so the family's bugging out. Ow, that hail hurts. Okay, we're going to get out of here. Off the mountain. Well, what a difference an hour makes. We have a little bit of blue sky poking out. That first bear we spotted, we just lost in the trees waiting for him, but now there's another one down here. Moved into position now. The bear's at around 720. And honestly, if it were any other gun, I would shoot it. The problem is this. I'm shooting my son's Sig Cross. It's 6.5 Creedmoor. It's crazy accurate. We verified this thing, you know, shooting out to distance. We have my Hornady app dialed. If this thing gets within about 600 yards, it's over. But this scope only has one rev of adjustment. You can't go up a second rev. And so, even though we have the ballistics dialed, I just can't shoot any further than that. And so it's just barely out of our range. And the bear keeps just kind of slipping in between trees. We keep catching glimpses of him. But he's been feeding kind of down and to the right, so if we're patient and he comes straight out in front of us, this thing is over. I don't want to lose the spot. 531. 530. Yep, 531. He's feeding there. It looks like he's getting open. Probably have a second. No. What happened? Didn't shoot. You see it? I have not seen the bear move, but he took a couple steps into a thicket, and so I'm just watching carefully everywhere around him, not taking my eyes off that spot so that I can know exactly where he is. It looked good, sounded good. I didn't see a ton of a reaction out of the bear, but everything looked good here. My first shot, I don't want to look at the primer, but the first shot was a click and no bang. Yeah, looks like we had kind of a light primer strike. Hopefully you can see there. Looks like a light primer strike. I'm not sure what happened there. I've never had that with these loads, but it's been in so much rain and stuff. I don't know what happened. Anyway, I think I got one. I think Jordan's
Man. I saw him and then I heard he shoot and I couldn't see him anymore.
Oh, I know right where he is. He gave like no reaction when he shot. I was watching, I could see the impacts and I saw no splash around him, but he didn't like react. He just kind of took a couple slow steps. But I've carefully watched that thing and I've not seen him come out. It's humanly possible that I've missed and he's going up that draw, but every indication I saw was, you know.
Was it Jordan?
I think it was.
Yeah. Here's what we're gonna do.
As soon as I came down here, like I walked down to the spot and I just looked over naked eye and I was like, there's a bear. And arranged it 520 yards. And I just got in and shot. No
I
waiting.
could barely hear the suppressor from up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, I heard, I thought it was a tree falling down right next to me.
Uh-huh.
Like it was just like a branch breaking. It is absolutely miserable. The rain is just coming down and we lost the blood trail. I just followed what I thought the trajectory she would follow was, and I started winding my day down this little valley looking underneath trees where I thought she'd bed. And I just happened to look over and saw her kind of propped up on a log. And it was so hard to see her that I had to look through the scope even though I'm 20 yards away from her. Yeah!
You have some really cool hunts for people to book.
I do. So there's some hunts in Idaho where we're at currently, not in this unit, but it's a drop camp hunt. It's $3,500. There's deer and elk tag.
So you got guaranteed tags.
Yep, because
for
you're booking-
$3,500, and it's drop camp. So they'll have like a nice tent for you, have a good spot picked out.
Yes, they'll have a tent up there for you. They'll have cots up there for you. All your food's included with it. And this outfitter is actually one that I've hunted bears with in the past. He taught me a lot of what I know about bear hunting. He's an awesome outfitter. He's a great guy.
So the way to find you is go to Booker Brad on Facebook.
Yep.
Just go to facebook.com. There's a little search bar. You type in Booker Brad, and you're going to get Booker Brad. And if you join that page, it's actually really good because you have a ton of just, hey, got a landowner tag available,
Yep.
and you can pick it up, or hunts. I like that you find some cheap hunts. I'm all about the cheap hunts.
I try really hard. I call about 600 landowners a year trying to find tags for people.
Very cool. That was incredible.
It was a lot of fun too.
I have a hard time finding bear, and you were just like, I know exactly where to go. Let's do this. That was pretty cool.